I just found that out when we were bringing it in, and the guys told me that that was a career high for Frank. I was just excited for him. I felt like a kid in there just cheering for him because to do what he does every single day, I think I've said it, he's a pro. His ability to mentally stay locked in, emotionally stay even keeled, and understand that, you know, he may not get the call, he may get the call, and to do that day after day after day and come back in the next day and get his work in and go home and have a great attitude says a lot about him. And to see him have a night like that when we needed it. I mean, this team was coming off of a tough loss last night. We knew the way they rotated those guys in the third quarter, like they were going after it. I think Dame played the whole third. CJ played, I think, the whole third. I'm not quite sure. And so that kind of pressure on Frank and JaVale in pick and rolls, the energy that we expended on defense tonight was amazing. Mikal and Book and Jay and Chris, all of our guards getting over screens all night long, and then JaVale and Frank communicating really helped us tonight. They only had 7 made threes, and that's an accomplishment. And to couple that, they only had 16 free throws. So we were guarding tonight. So I'm obviously happy about the win. I'm happy about the way that we're, trending defensively. And I'm just so proud of Frank, glad to be a part of his journey. He's a pro.
Quick follow on Frank. He was battling fatigue too.
Yeah.
He was cutting it out.
Yeah.
Say about a guy that doesn't play a lot usually to be able to battle through that, because he's not getting like those game actions like most guys.
I mean, this isn't his normal minute allotment. The past few games hasn't been. So that's a shock to your body. In the preseason, we try to build guys up so they can get ready for the regular season. Frank didn't have that. He's just been thrown in there, and he's not just out there. He's like doing a lot of stuff. He's boxing guys out. He's guarding in the post like he did against Valanciunas. Tonight he had Nurkic and then a smaller guy in Nance, so it changes up his coverages. So that takes up a lot of his energy, but he works. He comes in every day and gets his work in with MB. He's in the weight room. He does all the stuff that allows for him to have nights like this. So we're just glad we have him.
And I know you said that, some nights Frank gets the call.
Yeah.
Some nights he doesn't. Is he making it? Are you thinking of ways ahead to get him in the rotation?
Yeah. At some point, it's Kevin and I sit down and we do the rotations. We don't always have to cookie cut it, but it does help us when we're trying to sub guys in and out so they have a rhythm. But I think we have to, I don't want to hold myself to it because you guys always remind me of what I said, like it's the Chronicles or something like that. But I think we have to try to find a way for him to be on the floor even when we get DA back. And the cool part is JaVale's playing well. And so you have, 3 bigs that you can play. It may make us fresher to cut DA's minutes some so he doesn't have to play 35 to 36. Maybe he plays 27, 28, and then we can try to split up the other minutes. So I have to look at that and see if it fits. But he has made it really hard on us, on me.
Sorry, there was a possession in the third quarter where Mikal was closing out to the top, and he came had to scramble. Kind of a flashback to last year. Is that sort of the direction you like?
Yeah, I mean, it just takes the conditioning that it takes to do that. I mean, Frank had a great night, but Mikal's defense, he's everywhere. He's in pick and rolls, he's guarding one-on-one. Not many people can guard Dame and force tough shots like that. And I think he blocked one in an ISO situation. And I think those two have a great deal of respect for each other. Dame's a competitor. Mikal is, and, there's no trash talking between them. They compete. Dame knows when we play them, Mikal's going to be on him, and Mikal knows he's going to guard Dame. And I think there's a level of respect there, but the energy that it takes to guard those positions like that. And Book on McCollum. Chris was fighting his tail off with Norman. His DHO is one of the toughest DHOs in the league with his right hand. And, that takes a lot of energy to do that. So the defensive effort was certainly there tonight. And then the ability to, we lost the rebound battle tonight, but I thought there was a ton of fight. You see Jay getting back in there and tipping a ball. Even when Frank couldn't get it or JaVale couldn't get it, we had our smaller guys in there to help rebound.
We've seen Book, speaking of rebounding, his rise a bit after it did in the postseason. Have you noticed more of an effort from him?
Rebounding? Yeah, I mean, it's a staple of our program because we don't play a prototype lineup. We play smaller, so it takes a lot of effort to play on the outside and then come back in to rebound. But we learned that last year in the playoffs against the Lakers and the Clippers and teams that were really big, and even against the Bucks. That was, we wouldn't have had a chance if we didn't have our guards in the paint rebounding, and that's something that we still can, I think, take to another level. But Book he's not afraid to mix it up. That's one component of that type of play.
27 assists, only 10 turnovers.
Yeah.
The ball moved late.
Yeah, I think the ball movement, especially when they started to switch pick and rolls, we got off of it quick and we were able to make some money off of that. You have to be able to adjust to the different coverages. We thought they were going to come out and blitz or trap the pick and roll. They started out in the drop. So then we had to adjust to that. And then the second half, they went to a switch. And so we were moving the ball off of those switches. And Frank and JaVale, we came out of a timeout and we thought they might switch. Chris made a great pass to JaVale. He got fouled on a lob, but it was a quick play. And it was a matter of making the adjustment on the fly. But the ball movement, that's who we are. If we can make quick 0.5 decisions in any coverage, it just makes us more lethal. Jay had one on the right side off of a switch. We kicked it to him on the right slot. He took off and made a floater. I thought that gave us a lot of energy because they were making a run during that time.
More of an effort from Chris to get the ball up tonight in the last few games. How did you like the pace tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's how we want to play. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm not concerned with being the highest paced team. I'm not quite sure if that equates to much, but you don't want to be the slowest team. And typically pace means you're getting stops. And so I think that's a good indicator. Some teams are able to run off misses, but I like the hit ahead passes. Chris is, for a guy who has all of those assists, he's a willing passer to give it to somebody else when he may not get the assist. He just wants to make the right play. So that hit ahead pass really helps us with our pace, and it helps us to flatten out the defense a little bit.
The rotation that you established with Payne being back with Chris seems like now in that fourth quarter, he's fresh. As opposed to maybe
Yeah. Nah, I mean, first, like Chris it's a tough one because you're trying to keep him fresh, but you're also reading the game. Cam at times has it going, and it's just a balancing act. I thought I held on to it too long last game, and it got us in trouble a bit. But trying to play him less in the first half and giving him those spells, and then he gets the halftime break, and then he gets another break in the third, I think it allows for him to play that way in the fourth. And there'll be times where Cam will get back in the fourth to give Chris that 3 or 4 minute spell in the middle of the fourth. But I just think you're trying to read the game as best you can. But Chris is just a well-conditioned athlete, and in those moments, he just doesn't look like he's tired. Tired of me, maybe, but he doesn't look.
We'll finish with one on Zoom from Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking my question. Just curious, I remember after Game 6 of the finals, you mentioned that you wanted to play Frank more, and you were kind of bummed that you couldn't get him in there. Did you guys ever have a conversation after the finals leading into the season that you wanted more out of him? And then what's it like to see him contribute the way he has so early in this season?
I probably just, I don't know what I was thinking. Don't know what I thought yesterday, let alone then, but I probably kicked myself for not playing him more, especially the way that they rebounded. But when I talked to Frank this summer, I tried to tell him to do what's best for his career. I won't get into the details. I'll let him talk to you about that. But I just thought Frank was too good to be available. That was my inclination. That was what I was thinking when it came down to signing him. And I just talked to him like I do most free agents. I just try to be as honest as I can about our situation, what it's going to be like here for that particular player. And I tried to tell him, you got to do what's best for you and your family. And that may not be what's best for us. If he wants to, he can share the rest, but I'm just glad we have him.
I don't think any one thing specific. You know what I mean? Like I said, he just know how to play. You know, if guys trap you, he know how to get out and get in the pocket. He know how to make the next pass. Frank just know how to play.
What was the first talk about the locker room a little bit? And guys were so happy for him to have that kind of night. Was he excited about it as well? He's like, you know.
I think he was tired, but I mean, that's the team that we have. We celebrate each other. You know, all the you know, small victories you may call over the course of a season. We're a real family, you know, so we got to do that. It is a long season, but you know, you celebrate guys' accomplishments. We're a family.
Outside of that, Chris, what do you feel like was keeping you guys tonight?
Just weathering the storm. We started out the fourth quarter with a 10-point lead. They cut it to 4. You know, we got a few nice stops, got some good buckets, and we just tightened up when we needed to.
Chris Monty said that he saw the amount of energy you guys were expounding and just felt like you guys are improving more and more defensively. Do you share that sentiment?
Yeah. It's crazy, but you know, sometimes I feel better late in games. I know at times coach sort of trying to watch my minutes or whatnot, but I actually feel better probably when I play more, you know, because you're just out there. But it's balanced. We got such a deep team, and I love what we have and the way that we all sort of piggyback and play off one another.
In the playoffs, you shared the anecdote of really telling you, like, with this much left on the shot clock, I wanted to cross half court as much as possible. So you've been pushing the pace more this season. Can you tell us a little bit just about that anecdote?
Yeah, I think just advancing the ball and just playing a little faster. You know, there's a lot of teams that as soon as, you know, they push it up the court, you know, it's a ball screen coming. So I think that's one of the things that we're doing too, trying not to play as much in thought, you know, just, you know, set a quick ball screen or attack downhill, and let's get our shots up.
When you see the way Mikal is playing in terms of not only defending a guy like Lillard, but then getting some on the offensive end, and still getting on the glass. This is what you expected. You always talk about guys. This is what I expected.
Yeah, I expect it from Kale, but I'm always talking to Kale because I tell him all the time that was me for a lot of years, you know, handling the ball as much as I did and having to guard, you know, the premier scorer on the other team. But you got to be built for that, and Kale is built for it. He trains for it. It's a totally different training, you know. Some guys go into games literally sort of just worrying about what they're going to do offensively, you know, but I know it's a lot, you know, especially with all the scores we got in this league. You know, Kale is giving a lot of energy on both ends of the court.
Yeah, just your thoughts on Kaminsky, career high, 31 points.
Frank is having a hell of a 2 weeks, man, playing great basketball. He's helped our club tremendously pick it up on the offensive end, especially with his playmaking and abilities to make plays and pass and shoot the ball and score. But he just knows how to play the game. Our whole locker room knows that. This is not a coincidence for us, maybe for the spectators, but we know what he can bring, how he can help our team. He's a true professional, and we appreciate that out of him.
You had said this morning about different aspects that the guys were bringing with Aiden being out. seeing that with Frank, right?
Oh, no doubt. He brings a different aspect to our game. I mean, he stays ready. I just like how he had not play for a month, but he's always ready to go. And coach is aware of that, and our whole locker room is aware of that, and we appreciate that. That's just great camaraderie. It brings a lot of great chemistry to our team, and he does a great job of just holding it together on his end. And it's paying off. His work is paying off right now in front of our eyes.
Jay, on that end, just a more general question, but how much of a lift is it for the starters and maybe sort of contribute like that much?
It's great. I mean, when you have, especially just not one player, but when our whole bench is playing high level basketball, it makes our team much more dynamic. It makes our team much more of a threat to win on a nightly basis. And I think both units have struggled early. We struggled early to get it going and start to play from behind, but we're starting to figure it out. We're starting to get our legs underneath us a little bit, and we're starting to figure out what we need to do on a nightly basis to be the team we want to be come playoff time. No doubt. I'm just worried about the five guys being on the same page. We had a couple of slips there early where there's miscommunications, a lot of that going on, a lot of what I thought you was going to be there, but we're starting to figure it out. And five guys are starting to play on the string, and that's what you're seeing right now. Just five guys been on the string, being on the same page, communicating to one another, and just making it as tough as possible. That's what you're seeing right now.
You mentioned kind of getting your legs under you guys, getting your legs back. Do you think playing at a faster pace and not thinking as much kind of helps with that as far as finding that offensive rhythm?
I mean, playing at the faster pace is going to help you get there, but it's still tough when you're in mud. I feel like you're in mud a little bit. I know, speaking personally, I felt that, but I didn't want to voice it. I didn't want to maybe I was the only one feeling that, but I just wanted to just continue to chip away and make the days count. I just knew it would pay off soon. And I just gradually feel like personally it's getting better. I know for sure, seeing how we're playing, it's getting better for everybody, but I'm just speaking for personal experiences and what's going on early in the season. But I feel like our team is definitely on the incline when it comes to just being in shape, not playing that in the mud a little bit, not being as fatigued, taking care of our bodies and being ready to play on a nightly basis. I think it's coming together a little bit with a tough month in front of us right now. I'm saying that with a tough, brutal schedule looking us dead in the eye, but hopefully we just continue to just take it one game at a time and just that day in between, just take care of our bodies, take care of our minds, and be prepared to play.
How big will that be though, Jay, moving forward? Game off.
Yeah.
Next 3 weeks.
It's big. Coach is aware of it. That's the main part. Obviously, he has to manage that. But at the same time, we're professionals. We got to manage it ourselves. So we're talking about it. It's definitely something that we are aware of what we're going into right now. But we're just trying to take it one game at a time. Like I said, one day at a time. And that's all we can do. Can't look too far ahead of the schedule. Just focus on the one game, one day. Tomorrow, we're looking forward to the flight to Memphis.
Are you going to have a conversation with the refs about getting threes and
trying to figure it out, man.
4-point plays?
Trying to figure it out, man. I'm just trying to figure it out. The game is getting called differently. And we all feel that. You guys can see that. A lot of guys, players in this league, I watched the game last night, frustration. You see frustration, but it's just the league been called a certain way for so long. It's just new rules, just new stuff being called. So we just got to get used to it. I didn't like that third quarter where we were just chirping at the ref. We let them cut into our league just because of us getting sidetracked with the referees and the calls. So I just tried to do my part and try to help us move on to the next play. But it's definitely something that's frustrating, and it's just something that you got to continue to just try to move on to the next play. But I thought I for sure had a 4-point play here tonight. But don't take my money, league.
I couldn't figure that out.
Either works. Either one works.
What was it like tonight to have career night and have the crowd behind you like that and play the way you did?
I mean, I still don't think it's really hit me yet, but it's just like I said last time, it's just a mindset. Go out there and play as hard as you can, be ready for anything. You never know when your opportunities are going to come, so you got to make the most of them, and I'm just trying to make the most of my opportunity here. So, it all just goes into preparation and staying ready and keeping the same mental approach to every day. Try to stay level, never too high, never too low, and just keep going with that.
Coach said that he didn't want to elaborate on it, but he said that y'all had a conversation during free agency, and basically he said that you're too good to be available right now. And how did that stick with you to hear him say that, and has that played any kind of part in how you've gone about this season?
I mean, when I was
This past couple off seasons, free agencies have been tough. There's no mistake about it. I mean, I was within a thread of not being on a team 2 years ago. Sacramento waived me. I got a call from Phoenix that said, we're going to claim you on waivers. We're going to bring you back, which, for me was everything. I never wanted to leave in the first place. It was a weird free agency. I was coming off an injury, didn't play well in the bubble, didn't know what was going to happen. So I just told myself last year, make the most of the opportunity. When your number's called, be ready every single time. And this offseason kind of felt the same situation. Not a lot of teams wanted me. You hear a lot of things about yourself that are hard to swallow. I've fallen into the trap before of thinking that I have to prove everyone else wrong instead of proving myself right. And that's a big thing for me this year is just, I want to be who I think that I am and just go out there and prove it to myself, not let anyone else dictate, what's going to happen with me. My career and my life is in my hands and I want to make the most of it. In that conversation with coach, it kind of changed my approach to a lot of things. He was truthful. He was honest. He told me, how much he appreciates me and how much he believes in me. And that's all I was looking for. So that's why I had the opportunity to go somewhere else and I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay right here because this is where I feel the best. And it's all about feeling and being comfortable and knowing what to expect every single day. And that's a big thing.
Frank, you told us about some years where you double, you had a shot at the doubles. What's it like to be in a role like this where if you're feeling yourself, you're still getting a bit of space to offer?
It's good. It's just being able to read and react. They played a couple different ways tonight. They tried to blitz a couple ball screens. They tried switching everything. They tried just everything, it felt like. And it's just being able to play in multiple different situations, being able to read the game, react accordingly. If they switch a guard on me, I'm trying to go right down in the post and make a quick move so the double team doesn't come. And if it does come, try to make a play for someone else. It's just all about being active and being able to read and react to different situations.
There was a time before you go to the bench during the timeout, and Aiton came over. Was that to give you some juice?
Yeah. He could see that I was kind of gassed. This last stretch has been a lot of minutes for me after not playing much. I'm going to be honest. I'm never going to ask for a sub, but I was close tonight. There was a stretch there. I got to the bench and I said it felt like I just played for like 30 straight minutes. It was a lot, but when things are going well, you kind of adrenaline kicks in and then you hit a lull a little bit and you're like, dang, I actually am kind of tired. I need a little bit of a break, but yeah, DeAndre, and he can see, because I do that for him too. I can tell when he's fatigued, when he's fighting through it. And I go up to him and just say, you got 4 minutes left, four of your hardest minutes. Just go out there and play as hard as you can. And it's kind of the same thing for me.
I just want to make sure I'm reading that right.
Yeah, you read that situation right. Yeah. JaVale picked up his fourth foul. I played like a 10-minute stretch. Yeah. That felt like a long stretch. Yep.